Rune 47 of the Kalevia. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Kalewala, compiled by Elias Lönnrot, translated by John Martin Crawford. Rune 47. Lo, he steals sun, moon, and fire. Wainamoinen, ancient minstrel, touched again his magic harp strings, sang in miracles of concord, filled the north with joy and gladness. Melodies arose to heaven, song arose to Luna's chambers, echoed through the sun's bright windows, and the moon has left her station, drops and settles in the birch tree. And the sun comes from his castle, settles in the fir tree branches, comes to share the common pleasure, comes to listen to the singing, to the harp of Wainamoinen. Lo, he hostess of Pohjola, Northland's old and toothless wizard, makes the sun and moon her captives. In her arms she takes fair Luna from her cradle in the birch tree, calls the sun down from his station, from the fir tree's bending branches, carries them to upper Northland, to the darksome Sariola. Hides the moon no more to glimmer in a rock of many colors, hides the sun to shine no longer in the iron-banded mountain. Thereupon these words she utters: Moon of gold and sun of silver, hide your faces in the caverns of Pohjola's dismal mountain. Shine no more to gladden Northland, till I come to give ye freedom, drawn by coursers 9 in number, sable coursers of one mother. When the golden moon had vanished, and the silver sun had hidden in the iron-banded caverns, lo, he stole the fire from Northland, from the regions of Wainala, left the mansions cold and cheerless, and the cabins full of darkness. Night was king and reigned unbroken, darkness ruled in Ilmarinen, darkness in the home of Ukko. Hard to live without the moonlight, harder still without the sunshine. Ukko's life is dark and dismal when the sun and moon desert him. Ukko, first of all creators, lived in wonder at the darkness. Long reflected, well considered, why this miracle in heaven, what this accident in nature, to the moon upon her journey? Why the sun no more is shining, why has disappeared the moonlight? Then great Ukko walked the heavens to the border of the cloudlets, in his purple-colored vestments, in his silver-tinselled sandals, seeking for the golden moonlight, looking for the silver sunshine. Lightning Ukko struck in darkness from the edges of his fire-sword, shot the flames in all directions from his blade of golden color, into heaven's upper spaces, into ether's starry pastures. When a little fire had kindled, Ukko hid it in the cloud space, in a box of gold and silver, in a case adorned with silver, gave it to the ether maidens, called a virgin then to rock it, that it might become a new moon, that a second sun might follow. On the long cloud rocked the virgin, on the blue edge of the ether, rocked the fire of the Creator in her copper-colored cradle, with her ribbons silver-studded. Lowly bend the bands of silver, loud the golden cradle echoes, and the clouds of Northland thunder, low descends the dome of heaven, at the rocking of the lightning, rocking of the fire of Ukko. Thus the flame was gently cradled by the Virgin of the ether. Long the fair and faithful maiden stroked the fire-child with her fingers, tended it with care and pleasure, till in an unguarded moment it escaped the ether virgin, slipped the hands of her that nursed it. Quick the heavens are burst asunder, quick the vault of Ukko opens, downward drops the wayward fire-child, downward quick the red ball rushes, shoots across the arc of heaven, hisses through the startled cloudlets, flashes through the troubled welkin, through 9 starry vaults of ether. Then the ancient Wainamoinen spake, and these the words he uttered: Blacksmith brother Ilmarinen, let us haste and look together, what the kind of fire that falleth, what the form of light that shineth, from the upper vault of heaven, from the lower earth and ocean. Has a second moon arisen? Can it be a ball of sunlight? Thereupon the heroes wandered, onward journeyed and reflected, how to gain the spot illumined, how to find the sacred fire-child. Came a river rushing by them, broad and stately as an ocean. Straightway ancient Väinämöinen there began to build a vessel, build a boat to cross the river. With the aid of Ilmarinen, from the oak he cut the rowlocks, from the pine the oars he fashioned, from the aspen shapes the rudder. When the vessel they had finished, quick they rolled it to the current, hard they rowed and ever forward, on the Neva stream and waters, at the head of Neva river. Ilmatar, the ether daughter, foremost daughter of creation, came to meet them on their journey, thus addressed the coming strangers. Who are ye of Northland heroes, rowing on the Neva waters? Väinämöinen gave this answer. This the blacksmith Ilmarinen, I the ancient Väinämöinen. Tell us now thy name and station, whither going, whence thou comest, where thy tribe folk live and linger. Spake the daughter then of Ether. I the oldest of the women, am the first of Ether's daughters, am the first of ancient mothers. 7 times have I been wedded to the heroes of creation. Whither do ye strangers journey? Answered thus old Väinämöinen. Fire has left Väinälä's hearthstones, light has disappeared from Northland. Have been sitting long in darkness, cold and darkness our companions. Now we journey to discover what the fire that fell from heaven, falling from the clouds' red lining, to the deeps of earth and ocean. Ilmatar returned this answer. Hard the flame is to discover, hard indeed to find the fire child. Has committed many mischiefs, nothing good has he accomplished. Quick the fireball fell from ether, from the red rims of the cloudlets, from the plains of the Creator, through the ever-moving heavens, through the purple ether spaces, through the blackened flues of Tori, to Palvoinen's room uncovered. When the fire had reached the chambers of Palvoinen, son of evil, he began his wicked workings, he engaged in lawless actions, raged against the blushing maidens, fired the youth to evil conduct, singed the beards of men and heroes. When the mother nursed her baby in the cold and cheerless cradle, thither flew the wicked fire-child, there to perpetrate some mischief. In the cradle burned the infant, by the infant burned the mother, that the babe might visit Mana in the kingdom of Tuoni. Said the child was born for dying, only destined for destruction, through the tortures of the fire-child. Greater knowledge had the mother, did not journey to Manala, knew the word to check the red flame, how to banish the intruder, through the eyelet of a needle, through the death hole of the hatches. Then the ancient Väinämöinen questioned Ilmatar as follows. Whither did the fire-child wander? Whither did the red flame hasten, from the border fields of Tori, to the woods, or to the waters? Straightway Ilmatar thus answers. When the fire had fled from Tori, from the castles of Palvoinen, through the eyelet of the needle, through the death hole of the hatchet, first it burned the fields and forest, burned the lowlands and the heather. Then it sought the mighty waters, sought the aloe sea and river. And the waters hissed and sputtered in their anger at the fire-child, fiery red the boiling aloe. 3 times in the nights of summer, 9 times in the nights of autumns, boil the waters to the tree-tops, roll and tumble to the mountain, through the red bull's force and fury. Hurls the pike upon the pastures, to the mountain cliffs the salmon, where the ocean dwellers wander, long reflect and well consider how to still the angry waters. Wept the salmon for his grotto, mourned the whiting for his cavern, and the lake trout for his dwelling. Quick the crook-necked salmon darted, tried to catch the fire intruder, but the red bull quick escaped him. Darted then the daring whiting, swallowed quick the wicked fire-child, swallowed quick the flame of evil. Quiet grow the aloe waters, slowly settle to their shorelines, to their long accustomed places in the long and dismal evening. Time had gone but little distance, when the whiting grew affrighted. Fear befell the fire-devourer. Burning pain and writhing torture seized the eater of the fire-child. Swam the fish in all directions, called and moaned and swam and circled. Swam 1 day and then a second, swam the 3rd from morn to even. Swam she to the whiting island, to the caverns of the salmon, where 100 islands cluster, and the islands there assembled thus addressed the fire-devourer. There is none within these waters, in the narrow ʋɑlɑ lakelet, that will eat the fated firefish, that will swallow thee in trouble. In thine agonies and tortured, from the fire-child thou hast eaten. Hearing this, a trout forth darting, swallowed quick as light the whiting, quickly ate the fire-devourer. Time had gone but little distance, when the trout became affrighted. Fear befell the whiting eater. Burning pain and riding torment seized the eater of the firefish. Swam the trout in all directions, called and mourned and swam and circled. Swam one day and then a second, swam the third from morn to even. Swam she to the Salmon Island, swam she to the whiting grottos, where 1,000 islands cluster, and the islands there assembled thus addressed the tortured lake trout. There is none within this river, in these narrow ʋɑlɑ waters, that will eat the wicked firefish, that will swallow thee in trouble. In thine agonies and tortures, from the firefish thou hast eaten. Hearing this, the grey pike darted, swallowed quick as light the lake trout, quickly ate the tortured firefish. Time had gone but little distance, when the grey pike grew affrighted. Fear befell the lake trout eater. Burning pain and riding torment seized the reckless trout devourer. Swam the pike in all directions, called and moaned and swam and circled. Swam one day and then a second, swam the third from morn to even. To the cave of ocean swallows, to the sand-hills of the seagulls, where 100 islands cluster, and the islands there assembled thus addressed the fire-devourer. There is none within this lakelet, in these narrow ʋɑlɑ waters, that will eat the fated firefish, that will swallow thee in trouble. In thine agonies and tortures, from the firefish thou hast eaten. Väinämöinen, wise and ancient, with the aid of Ilmarinen, weaves with skill a mighty fish-net from the juniper and sea-grass, dyes the net with all the waters, ties it well with thongs of willow. Straightway ancient Väinämöinen called the maidens to the fish-net, and the sisters came as bidden. With the netting rowed they onward, rowed they to the 100 islands, to the grottos of the salmon, to the caverns of the whiting, to the reeds of sable colour, where the grey pike rests and watches. On they hasten to the fishing, drag the net in all directions. Drag it lengthwise, sidewise, crosswise, and diagonally zigzag. But they did not catch the firefish. Then the brothers went a-fishing, dragged the net in all directions, backwards, forwards, lengthwise, sidewise, through the homes of ocean dwellers, through the grottos of the salmon, through the dwellings of the whiting, through the reed beds of the lake trout, where the grey pike lies in ambush. But the fated firefish came not from the lake's abysses, came not from the ʋɑlɑ waters. Little fish could not be captured in the large nets of the masters. Murmured then the deep-sea dwellers, spake the salmon to the lake trout, and the lake trout to the whiting, and the whiting to the grey pike. Have the heroes of ʋɑlɑ died, or have they all departed from these fertile shores and waters? Where then are the ancient weavers, weavers of the nets of flax-thread, those that frighten us with fish-poles, drag us from our homes unwilling? Hearing this, wise Väinämöinen answered thus the deep-sea dwellers, Neither have Väinälä's heroes died, nor have they all departed from these fertile shores and waters. 2 are born where 1 has perished. Longer poles and finer fish-nets have the sons of Kalevala. End of Rune 47, recording by Jonna.